Hey YouTube, Muchismo Eugene, another video from Exit Strategy. Welcome. Round and round we go. Where we're stopping, no one knows. Only you know where you're going to stop, as well as where you're going to begin. Just like this fan over my head, we're going around and around and around many times in life, and we don't understand that if you do the same things, those are the same results that you're going to get. It has to come a point in life that we have to do something different. We have to make a decision that we're not just going to think different, we have to act upon the thought. I've always said, I gotta. And what happens is that I gotta ends up never getting accomplished, is never getting addressed. So I thought it best in my life, first and foremost, that I began to just do those things that I know that I have to do. So it goes beyond just a I gotta. Just thought I'd share that with you guys real quick before I start talking about when you met the narcissist. You never met the narcissist. You discovered you. The narcissist introduced you to yourself. They introduced you to a self, or to the you that you thought you knew. They introduced you to the very stark detail of who you were or who you are. They essentially came into your life and showed you who you really were. And in them doing that, that accelerated your discovery of them. Because they mirror you, you know that, right? And that's what I mean. They introduced you not to themselves, but they introduced you to you. You thought you were meeting them. You discovered who they were because it was just happenstance that you discovered them. Because when you met them, anything and everything about them was not them. It was fake, it was a facade, it was a mask. Do you all agree to that? Okay. So, and that being the case, that's how you never met the narcissist. When you met the narcissist, you actually met you. And now that you've met yourself and you've gotten an idea, or not just an idea, you've gotten a real solid perspective on who you are. You're a decent human being. You're a giving human being. You're a considerate human being. You're a selfless human being for the very most part. You are an empathetic human being. All the things that you are, the narcissist wasn't. They gave you an illusion that they complimented what you were. They were complimenting you, but they were complimenting you. They was not adding to who you were. They came in to subtract from you. They came in to take. They came in to jack you, rob you, stick you up with no gun. So, that being in perspective, now that you know you in a way that no other, I don't believe any other thing in life could have helped you understand and discover who you were. You go to church, you discover that you're a sinner in need of God's grace and mercy, this, that, and the other. You go to college to discover what you perceived is your life goal and your destiny of what you want to obtain to, whether it's in the mechanical field, medical field, you have it. You go to the gym, you're working out, you begin to make lots of progress. You begin to transform your body in a way where you've never known your body to be before. Probably when you were younger, you're reaching, trying to get back to that, or close as you can get. But no other way do you get to know who you really are at the very core than when you meet the narcissist. That's the only honesty that they carry. They allow you to see yourself for who you are. Now, there's a trade-off for that. There's a penalty for that, because in them showing you who you are, now you have to accept that they were nothing. They were none of what you thought they were. They were nothing of the sort. You are everything that they saw in you. You are everything that they projected to you. In the inset, not the smearing, not the devalue. And a lot of what you are, they didn't really tell you. It was through the abuse you understand who you really are. And along with the education of who they are not, and as opposed to who they really are, you don't have to hold on to what you thought was real with them. That's simple mathematics. Once you truly understand what a narcissist isn't, they're not caring, they're not loving, they're not sacrificial, they're not empathetic, they're not long-suffering, they're not patient, they're not any of the things that most often healthy people, childhood wounds are not. Fairly healthy people, and healthy, I use that to mean a person that is not deliberately out to get anyone, to hurt anyone, to see anybody, to see anyone suffer. So now you must reject everything that you have in your head that you continue to attach to the relationship or the interaction you had with them, whether it was a co-worker, parent, loved one, friend, or intimate partner. Spend time really looking into this as it is in that respect right there, and you will immediately begin to grow from that point on. Because unless you can detach yourself from what you perceive and believe was something in that relationship and see it for what it is, what I just pointed out, you have to see that for what it is. And a lot of times the reason why I'm sharing this, because a lot of comments I've read, one subscriber, he asked me if I could do a video one day on beating ourselves up for taking a long time to heal. And I told him I would very soon. So I guess this will probably be that video. It's not a matter, you're taking a long time, excuse me. It's not a matter of you taking a long time to heal, because you got all the time in the world. That's the first deception, that you think you have to be healing at a certain rate, at a certain pace. Just don't fool yourself in believing that you're doing all you can do in a very practical, consistent way. Practicality and consistency is the key. It's like the gym. Me and my son go occasionally now, and we were sore as hell the other day, and I told him, hey, it's up to you. You want to go back? After 2 days in, we went hard, or not hard, we went consistent. But the soreness told us that we went consistent enough to be sore. And I said, if you decide you want to go, we'll go. He texted me halfway through school day, Dad, I think we'll take a couple days off, resume Sunday, or today Saturday, and then take a couple days off after that, or work 6 days through and take a day off. So that might work out for us, and it may not. But what we're doing is we're attempting to approach a workout regimen that is going to both yield us results, and it's going to help us to be realistic and not beat our body up. Same way with this abuse and this healing. You have to be realistic, and you have to be consistent, and you have to be, you just have to be considerate to yourself. Because a lot of the abuse you went through, psychological abuse with regards to the narcissist, whether they were family in your upbringing, and then you run into a relationship and they try to finish what the parents started. Whatever you got going on there, you have to understand that that's a component that you're still dealing with. You're harder on yourself than you have to be. You only have yourself to please right now. And don't be critical of your displeasure. If you're not up for one thing or the other regarding listening to a video, or if you just want to relax and lounge around, bum around for a day or two, just know that it's not a matter of you not healing. It's a matter of you being consistent, but you're being realistic with yourself. This takes a lot of energy out of you mentally and emotionally. You know, a lot of us still carrying the baggage that, you know, the narcissist put in our backpack when we're involved with them. And so we have to gradually unpack all the things that are not ours, that don't belong to us, that they stuffed in our book bag or our hiking bag. You wondering on the hiking trip why they're not tired, why they're not exhausted. Because their bag is empty. They've stuffed all their stuff in your backpack, so you're carrying the whole load. So now unpacking some of the things in your life that you don't have to carry for them because they no longer exist. And you really have to imagine that they never existed. That's easier said than done, but I'll tell you, if you go back to what I initially said in the beginning of the video, the more you understand what a narcissist isn't and begin to understand what they truly are and were when you met them, which was just a living, breathing, empty meat suit. Only thing that they brought to that first dinner date, only thing they brought to that marriage, only thing they brought to that relationship, only thing they brought to that family structure that was there was an empty human form, void of anything good, and was rampant with all things evil. Even the evil in them is not a constant. They go from one thing to the next. This is called lack of object constancy. They cannot continually, consistently across the board do the thing that is good for a realistically long amount of time. They just can't. You may say, well, okay, I was married to him for 20 years. They got up, they did this, they did that. Anything that's self-serving, they can do that in their sleep. But anything that's contributing to anything outside of themselves, they're inconsistent. And everybody who says they're consistent, they have probably mastered that art of illusion. Just think back. All you gotta do is just look back and really be critical of the things that you think that they did consistently as far as contributions. In some cases, they're good mimickers. They can mimic a consistency. They can mimic consistency and have you believe, but they're only being consistent in your eyesight. When they're not in your presence, that consistency, it fails. It collapses. So this video is serving to show you guys that it is not the narcissist you met when you first met the narcissist. You met you. You met you. So that should be a good thing to really just think about, because they showed you who you really are as a human being. So they gave you the insight you needed to become the greater version of yourself. To desert and abandon all of the things that you knew past, leading on up to this day going forward. Whatever you do going forward, you do it with a new insight and a new awareness of, I know who I am, and who I am, I present to the world. And at the same time, when you look at people, if they don't resemble a lot of your convictions, a lot of your standards, a lot of your character. You have to kind of leave those people where you see them at. They don't have to be carbon copies of you. But what I'm saying to you is, if they give you the remote indication that they have toxicity, they have issues that they haven't dealt with, that are not going to do anything but drag you down along with them because they're not really willing to do any of the work on themselves, that is not a sacrifice that you should be willing to make. Your sacrifices that you've made up to this point got you to this point. Be wise in your decisions and your choices. But among and above all of that, you got to be healthy. You have to be the best person, and you have to be the best person you can be. You have to be the most healthiest person you can be. And after you get to those points, you're going to be able to do the things of discerning and being able to determine whether these people compliment you or not. It's going to be second nature. That's about as easy as it gets. The more healing you do on yourself, the easier it'll become for you to be alone, not seek a relationship, not seek friendships from other people. You'll be able to focus on your family, the ones who you are really responsible for, your priorities in life, be able to get your house in order, be able to get your personal affairs in order. You'll be able to shave the fat off of your lifestyle, metaphorically speaking, things you don't need in your life, whether they're physical, tangible. You'll begin to go on and just start minimizing your life. And you'll see how beautiful your life is. Just get started. That's the hardest part. I encourage you all. That being said, bless.